Greetings, my beautiful friends. It is Coleraine, or Coleraine Tarot, here on YouTube. My pronouns are they, them, and we are going to get right into this reading about what deity is reaching out to you. There may be multiple in each group, it just depends. If you are already feeling drawn to a group, you know what to do, you know where to find the timestamp. Otherwise, I will introduce each pathway to you now. So path 1 is this green aventurine. Path 2 is this purple amethyst point. Group 3 is this sunstone tumble. And group 4 is the serpentine orb. I will see you in your pathway, my friend. Greetings, path 1. If you selected this first pathway, this is your reading. So I'm just going to start by cleansing the space in you. This reading might be a little bit long. We'll see how it goes, but I just have a full spread of cards here. So this beautiful green aventurine, I'm very first off feeling with this path that if you're feeling like walking this pathway with this deity, the aventurine, first of all, I always, of course, based on the name, think of it as a stone or a mineral of adventure, but I also connect it to the Fey realms, and in particular, I'm just feeling such a strong water energy coming from this group. So maybe this deity has to do with water. I haven't looked at the card yet, but I'm really curious to see what elements may come forward, since I'm feeling that strong connection to water. So if you already work with a water deity, this deity may be an extension of that water deity, or maybe you were initiated by this water deity that you already previously have been working with, and so this is opening the pathway for you to do deeper work with this water, or with this deity that's about to come forward. So this is my thyme plant here, and there were some dried leaves on it, and I needed to pick them off. So you have Lilith, face your shadow. Wow. And that serpent that's around Lilith's head and hair, and even the I want to call it the ajna. I'm pretty sure the third eye is the ajna. And then the throat and the heart. I'm forgetting the names, the original names for these chakra points, but then they're also coming up to the crown and illuminating the crown. So for some of you, this I feel like Lilith is coming forward to let you know that it's time to metaphorically go into the land of milk and honey. And if you haven't done much esoteric research into what milk and honey represents, recently I've been revealed by my guides that milk and honey represents the experience of having a Kundalini awakening, of having a deepened, metaphysical experience in the physical body. So there are certain responses that our bodies can have that release certain hormones, they release certain substances from within glands, especially the pituitary gland, and with that third eye chakra really standing out to me at the beginning. This is, to me, representing that this is a moment of awakening, especially with the aventurine representing the Fey realms, being able to see through into other dimensions within this dimensional reality. And I feel like whoever I'm speaking to in this group, if you've chosen this pathway, you've already been well versed in opening up to that aspect of life, and I don't feel any judgment coming from you when I'm talking about things like that, because you know that it's real. Lilith is also representing being able to stand in your power regardless of what others think, and that may be part of what the water is representing. And I really want to go deeper and see what Miss Lilith has to tell us today. So this is the soul story that she wanted to bring forth for you, and it's Oracle card 7 and Earth 9. So Pavo, vigilance, watchfulness, and supervision. Lilith is watching over you and making sure that you are able to feel safe, protected, and able to break the mold without causing you or others too much strife. And I also feel like Lilith has been trying to influence you subconsciously to help you get more into the role of an observer in your life, where you can sit back, feel, experience, and take note of the details of something. So right now she's showing me I'm actually sitting next to my plants, and she's showing me a plant that I was given, and it recently started to, just not do very well health-wise, and I had been watching it try and send forth a bunch of new life as it was transitioning, and I just knew intuitively somehow that this plant was taking on energy from the person that had given me the plant, and my relationship with this person, how it's changed. And she's taking me down that route to show that there's some kind of observance that you're supposed to be making, where you're seeing through a deeper layer of the experience, and it's showing you how to move forward and be genuine in what you know, and how you feel, regardless of the experience, like the physical experience with whatever situation you are wondering about at this time. Because for some of you, I feel like this is, especially with Uranus here, which says passion, indulgence, and sexuality. I mean, the colors even match here with Lilith, but Lilith is trying to show you how to see in a different way, and also how to experience joy and pleasure through relationships that are more authentic and more genuine to you. Because the reason I bring up that plant, it may not seem very literal, but there was something that was kind of off about the relationship that I had with this individual, and actually they're connected to another person in my life as well. So there was something going on in this connection that I needed to rebel out of and be really firm in my expression of myself and what I knew to be true for myself, about myself, and not, blur the boundary that I felt like needed to be there through the situation. And so I feel like for some of you, you're going through something that might be similar. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes when I'm channeling, I have no idea why I'm saying what I'm saying, but for somebody it's meant to be heard. So, and with the peacock too, this is about, being your pure, authentic self, and being able to show off, but not in a way that's arrogant or conceited. It's like showing off who you are and being unapologetic in your expression of self. And the last thing I'll say before I move on, because I don't want this to be too long, but Lilith saying face your shadow, she's talking about those aspects of yourself that, I'm not going to, be cliche and say those parts we've rejected, but sometimes there are aspects to our shadow that are actually really positive, empowering traits that we aren't allowing ourselves to embrace because of a fear of being seen or a fear of what others may think. And sometimes this can be, parts of ourselves that are the very human aspects that others have shamed us about our expression of those parts. And sexuality can be very much tied up in that shadow aspect, because it's so often that we're shamed for being a sexual creature or having these desires and these expressions that we want to share. So that's all I'll say on that. But definitely there's a rebellion energy, because Uranus is about rebelling to rebel. Here's an animal spirit that is connected to Lilith and may represent her. Besides the snake and the peacock, there's also the walrus coming out, and it says enlightenment and faith. So there's a situation in many of your lives, if you've chosen this pathway, that requires your enlightenment and your faith in the deliverance of this outcome. So Lilith, her first, introduction to humanity in her myth is that she rebels, and she is the first wife of Adam. She doesn't want to conform to these social norms that are starting to be built into the foundation of the religious practice of Judaism, and more particularly all of the Abrahamic faiths that emerged later. And she wants to be in a different cultural role as a feminine or female figure, kind of interchangeably and not at the same time. And I definitely recommend going and looking more into her story, and I'm sure that there's a lot more comprehensive studies on what Lilith represents, but there's definitely a faith that is needing to be infused into your life right now. And this faith is representing, again, that deliverance. And I'm being drawn back to that first message that she had me say about milk and honey. In the Hebrew Bible, oftentimes God is promising a land of milk and honey to those who have been suffering. And so that land of milk and honey, again, is very metaphorical, and it requires our faith in our ability to be delivered there through hardship. What shadow is Lilith working with you on? Vex. There is fire within and fire without. Okay, interesting. So even though I was picking up on the energy of water, there's very much here a sense of the fire as well. Vex is talking about being angry, using your feeling of frustration to tame the flame is the phrase that she's giving me right now. She wants you to stand upright. She's showing me somebody who's straightening their spine, someone who is sitting in their power. And sometimes that includes being in balance with our anger. If we let anger control us, or we let our temper misrepresent us, there is potential damage that we can do to our character, and to how much penance we have to give to cleanse others and ourselves of the effects of our anger. I hope that makes sense. So Vex is talking about being able to use our inner flame as a creative source and a wellspring for truth and for authenticity rather than vengeance. So some of you may have been feeling like you need to seek revenge, you need to get your point across, or there's some like kind of energy that I feel like if you sat with it a little bit more, you would find the wisdom of the anger rather than the impulse. I'm gonna leave it at that, she's saying. Find the wisdom of the anger rather than the impulse. Okay, this is the path and how she sees you right now. At day's end rest is what she's saying. I find peace in nature and rest my body and mind in order to connect to spirit. There's cats all over the lap of this person. I've pulled this card many times, but I've never noticed the cats there. And there's also a spider web next to this person's feet. Or I guess they're a fae. So more connection to the fae realm. Definitely do some kind of nature ritual, and she's drawing me up to the crown again. So maybe weaving yourself a crown of flowers. I almost said crown of thorns. So it may be that you're using something that is not traditionally seen as like super beautiful, quote unquote, but the beauty is in its uniqueness. Doing some kind of ritual with nature that is not, because even the spiders and the black cats, they're kind of misunderstood, and the snake as well. There's a lot of her where she's wanting you to embrace these aspects of nature that are not readily celebrated by a lot of people usually. She wants you to embrace these parts of yourself that make you feel different as well. And I feel like you're going to heal that by doing this in nature and also giving yourself permission to rest. For some of you, the shadow that's coming up, I'm hearing, is that you don't allow yourself to just be, or you feel like you must be doing something in order to be valuable. And Lilith, she actually gains her power by not doing. And so it's really, wow. I just felt her super strong. But she's wanting to show that you deserve this time of reflection and connection. And that's how she sees you. So this is another potentially supporting deity or energy in this reading. And we have the mantra seed syllable of the goddess Vajravarahi. So if you aren't necessarily resonating with Lilith is also saying that you could see her message, or she can transfigure into Vajravarahi, which is a Hindu/Buddhist deity of power of speech and power of self-acceptance. So I love this synchronicity. Wow. And it says, words have great power. Use them for the greater good. And I actually am being drawn to read you from this guidebook. This is 26. Vajravarahi here is actually right in front of this mantra seed syllable. She's kind of witchy. She's a sky dancer, which is like an angel, a dakini. They're actually kind of genderless, so using feminine pronouns is not whatever. I won't go into the details, but yeah. And yes, Vajravarahi represents our individual energy mechanism, is the personification of Kundalini or prana or chi energy, all names for the same thing. She's red, dancing, joyful, fiercely strong young woman. She stands on a human being, which represents her ability to crush ignorance and delusion through spiritual practice. So yes, there's something here where it's time for you to have symbolizes wisdom's conquest over delusion. Conquest your delusions or things that are just not true for you, because sometimes we're told things that are true subjectively, but it doesn't mean that they're true for you. And it's important for you to honor that and not feel shame or guilt over those experiences or those knowings that you're reaching in and drawing forward. And that's that faith as well. Okay, Vajravarahi is a joyful yet fiercely wild dakini, fertile and full of life. Above her head is a Sanskrit symbol of her mantra, her bija sound, Bam. Seed syllables, or bijas in Sanskrit, are individual sounds that contain the full power of their mantras. Receiving a mantra from an accomplished master breathes life and power into it. It is no longer just a sound. It is empowered then to act, to open your mind and allow you to connect and call to the deity it personifies. Mantras are the spells in the language of magic, or the incantations and prayers in other spiritual traditions. So if you are feeling drawn to a certain prayer, for some of you this might be writing out a prayer that you can invoke Lilith or invoke Vajravarahi or any other deity that you've been working with that you feel relates to this message. Because I believe in the transfiguration of deities, so I don't think that they're fully fixed forms sometimes. But anyway, if you want to invoke that deity and then ask them to draw you to a prayer, or even help you to channel a prayer, and then write it out and put it somewhere like on your mirror or on your bedroom wall or somewhere where you're going to see it. Maybe for some of you it's even in your car, like so you can repeat it to yourself while you're driving, safely. Please don't get into any crashes while reading this or anything. Or even record yourself speaking it and then listen to it while you're driving. That might be a little safer. But there's some kind of invocation that's really important for you, because it's going to help you open your mind. So this is going into what a mantra means, and then I'm going to pull your last two cards. So mantra is a Sanskrit word from the root mantram, which combines the root manas, mind, and tram, protection. So the literal meaning is mind protection, the primary purpose at the core of all mantra repetition. If you are repeating your mantra, it is harder to think about your worries and fears, as it protects you from them. It also keeps the mind from straying onto paths that are not helpful. For example, it's better to say the popular mantra, Om Mani Padme Om, over and over again, rather than to say, for example, I am so angry at the bus driver I could strangle him. Carefully chosen speech keeps us in alignment with our intentions to be the best person we can be. Thinking positive words untangles negative energy and clears the air. They are more likely to get the bus driver to pause when you are late. and running after the bus than a cloud of angry energy that surrounds a person whose mind is full of angry thoughts. And this is also relating to Vex. There is fire within and fire without. I really like that I chose to go and read that because that so relates here. Keeping your mind pure and full of positive, self-loving, self-affirming thoughts is going to help you be in more harmony with others, even if you disagree with them, is what she's saying. So finally, we have kind of the method that she wants to use. I love this. To reach out to you and to get you to connect with her energy more and to learn from her aspect of consciousness. We have trust, 47, which adds to an 11. So trusting in your guidance, trusting in the path that you're walking, trusting in your ability to take breaks and to, take your time on this path and to be able to watch and observe and notice, and trusting your perspective. Because Lilith also, if she never trusted her perspective in the Garden of Eden, if she never listened to her inner voice, and was able to expand her consciousness into a different way of seeing, a different way of being, and being able to be a co-creator with the divine and actually step into her own divinity, there would be, no alternative routes. We would just be, forced into this conformity. And I feel like trusting is recognizing that your perspective, even if it is different or it alters the energy of a situation, it's really needed and it's necessary in order to break out of the paradigms as it is. And then her affirmation to you that she wants you to use, this could even be your mantra: your healing is your first priority. Your healing is your first priority. And I feel like this has to do with whatever shadow came up, whatever has been causing you to feel like you're absorbing these more negative energies, or you're manifesting this from within. It's time to turn things into creative life force energy. For you, and to be able to accept that, even if it's anger, there are pure forms of anger in my opinion, and so it's time to really get in contact with that, and also just feel deeply how you feel so that you can know what to do with it. So I'm sending you so much love, so many thanks. I'm also thanking Miss Lilith here and every other force in the universe that came forward for this reading and supported the messages that were brought forward today. If you are interested in a personal reading, I have that information and the ability to book through my website in the description box below. I'm sending you so much love, my friend, and I will see you in another video. Greetings, path 2, if you selected this amethyst point. This is your reading. And what I'm picking up from the amethyst first, like before I get into anything else, is that it is time to address matters of the heart. So a lot of you have been dealing with something romantically or just in your relationships, and sorry, this is like kind of a heavy energy that this deity is wanting to work with you on. They're showing me like a chariot energy, so there's something about wanting to move you forward and out of certain patterns that you've been in for a while. Very interesting. Wanting to help you focus your energy towards the future, towards where you're going, without any distractions. So I feel like sometimes for a number of you in this path, you're easily distracted by the energy of others or what they want from you. So let's see what deity is reaching out to you. Aphrodite, yes, eternal love. And I love this depiction of her. that makes sense that you're dealing with relationship stuff if you're having Aphrodite come forward. And she's also saying that she wants me to use the water to cleanse, so just open your energy up to receive a little cleansing from her. She wants to give you a hug. I love her energy. I haven't really worked with her personally, but anytime that she's come forward in the people around me, or I've just noticed her energy present, it's just so loving and I mean, obviously, but it's also very self-empowered. There's something about her energy that is, even though she deals in the realm of desire and in the realm of exchange, there's something about her that is like, well, I'm giving out of overflow, out of the freedom of my own heart to be able to give so much. And encourage you to give so much. And wow, such a beautiful butterfly just flew by and was just circling and just had a grace and elegance about it. So Aphrodite also, when I've seen her mirrored in the energy of those around me, there's something about it that her energy, when it's in contact with us, it doesn't need to take center stage. There's an ever-present force and a grace that comes from deep within this energy that does not need to compete. And I feel like there's a real strength and a beauty in that. But there also is kind of a shadow aspect, which maybe I'll get into the shadow that she wants to help you with first. There's a shadow aspect to that where it can be that we are expectant of others, just purely based on the desires that we hold around what we want to exchange with others and how we want to be in communion. So let's see what shadow she's wanting to help you with. And we got reconcile. Here, let me move these. Reconcile. Love yourself, for only then can you love others. Powerful. And sorrow. It is through deep sadness that one masters discouragement. So if you are sad over a relationship or something that hasn't quite manifested in the way that you've been desiring, it's time for you to reconcile with the aspects of yourself that have been needing this care and this tenderness. Because I feel like what she's saying is, especially since she's holding a mirror here, only when we know ourselves, only when we appreciate ourselves and invest in our own energy, can we then open ourselves up to receive from others. Because even, if we have been giving, if we haven't been giving to ourselves, we don't know how to receive, is what she's saying. And we can't see the clarity of what feels good to receive and why it feels good to receive that thing if we aren't in touch with ourselves first. And it's like complicated, the energy that she's showing me, because there's a lot about self-consciousness and self-awareness that Aphrodite's wanting to bring to you. And I feel like she's trying to bring this through with this mirror metaphor, but there's something about the ocean. So let's see. Here's your soul story. Okay. Wow. 7 of air in the reverse. Foolishness, anxiety, and reluctance with the constellation Cephas. And the Emperor, fire, Leo, reputation, showmanship, chivalry, and loyalty. This is, okay, I'm starting here because she's saying that this is where there's that absence of competition. When we are in a place of chivalry, loyalty, showmanship, reputation, coming from the heart, the way that Leo rules the heart in medical astrology, being that emperor, being that pillar of strength within ourselves, there is no need to compare. There is no competition. There is no one that can put us in competition with others for their attention or their affection. This 7 of air in reverse feels like past energy or something that you have been struggling with, because I feel like others have been dishonest or untruthful with you, and Aphrodite is wanting you to give them grace by forgiveness, but not to put your boundaries down, because she's showing me the shell, and the shell can be like a protective layer or an impenetrable barrier to where we can shine our love out from within, but not have to be cut down by the lies, by the foolishness, by the anxiety and the reluctance that others places in. Some of you, this is also with that reluctance energy, being so like enclosed within yourself that you're not taking the risks to get out and put yourself out there romantically, or share how you really feel or what you really need from a partner, or you're waiting for somebody to fulfill a hole within you without asking for your needs to be met first. It's like an over-reliance on someone else to meet your needs, rather than meeting your own needs first and then having other people supplement what they are willing to offer from their natural overflow. I really feel like I need to look into the Leo card in the guidebook. So let's see. Okay. Leo, the lion, is one of the only constellations that resembles its namesake. Leo reigns over the 5th house, the house of pleasure, satisfaction, and creation. Very much Aphrodite energy. The image of a lion conjures visions of nobility, power, and pride. Individuals born under this sign share many of the attributes of their namesake. Leos tend to speak with both authority and showmanship. Fun fact, I'm a Leo, so happy birthday, Leo. If you are close to your birthday, we'll celebrate through this reading together. They are acutely aware, of how people may perceive them, and therefore may embellish their stories and their appearance in order to leave a good impression. Though Leos have a reputation for being proud, idealistic, and hardworking, they have a sincere appreciation for relaxation and pleasure. This is very much... wow. Leos do not always seek the limelight in social situations, but they do love being at the center of a small team or surrounded by attentive family and friends. A willingness to motivate and entertain their peers comes naturally, and Leos have a fine time rallying energy for causes with humble or honest purposes. When the card is upright, Leos tend to reflect traditional ideals in their relationships, and the need for chivalry, loyalty, and passion are paramount. Their interactions with others are honorable and spirited, and they find the company of other like-minded folks comforting. Leos find the most pleasure in relationships when they feel appreciated, and they will gladly soak up any attention their partners, friends, or family will provide them. So, I'm feeling like with this shadow aspect to sorrow and reconcile, this may be wanting to be seen for who you really are. Even if you aren't a Leo, that's totally fine. Everybody has every single zodiac sign in their chart somewhere. So even if it's not in your big 3, or you don't know, or maybe you only know your sun sign, it might be a good time to go and look up your natal chart and see where Leo lies, like what house it rests in your chart, even if you don't have a specific placement there. If you do have Leo placements and you know about them, this is just representing that it's time to feel comfortable and confident being yourself. And there was another aspect of this. Yeah, it's not coming through again, but definitely, it's about presenting yourself, because Aphrodite is very much, she's connected to Venus energy usually, and Venus is about our wealth, our self-worth, beauty, representations of self. And the people that I know who have very strong Venus energy or Aphrodite energy in general, they're the people who care a lot about how they look, about that self-confidence that they gain from feeling and looking their best and being able to put their best foot forward. So definitely it's time to release this sorrow and things that other people may have projected onto you based on their own insecurities, or the way that they may have felt threatened by your confidence, by your talent, by your just the energy that you were offering and giving. Because sometimes even when we're shining a light, it can really trigger people who feel like they are in lack, or like they they wouldn't be able to match. And that's where maybe that energy or that message about comparison or competition was coming in from Aphrodite earlier, because she really wants you to get out of that mindset of others who may be feeling like they're in competition with you. Yeah, okay. So this is how she views you. Release. I release that which does not serve my higher purpose with gratitude and love. She wants you to be more self-sovereign, and to focus on your love by going and mirroring yourself to yourself, rather than having to match other people's energy or care for others at this time. She's actually drawing my eye to a white rose that I've been growing. And so it's important for you to maybe even work with the energy of a white rose. You can imagine a white rose coming into the heart space if you do energy work. Or if you do like physically have access to white roses, maybe using some of those petals in a bath, doing some kind of ritual, using the white rose can help you to release this energy, and to help bring yourself into kind of a cleansed state, so that you do not feel like you're carrying around this sorrow, this burden. And also with reconcile, I'm feeling like there may be for some of you a reconciliation with the past, and being able to finally move on from those places where you felt betrayed or felt like you were being unfairly put, again, in competition against others or being compared. Yeah. I release it with gratitude and love. So that's really important. The more you get into gratitude, the more you get into a loving state. It's not going to matter what you've lost or what's in the past, because you know that you're moving forward. Okay. This is the method that she wants to work with you through, and this is birth and rebirth. So she's definitely trying to get you, with this release, I'm almost seeing it like a baptism of sorts, where you are laying yourself back into the water, into the moments of emotional release, knowing, intuitive connection, and then you're coming back forward, cleansed, fresh, new, opened up as a vessel for love and an embodiment of love. And I know that's not quite what the ritual means, especially if you're a Christian. Don't feel offended. I'm just using it as an example. But yeah, there's something here where she wants to bring you into a sense of clarity, newness, feeling like you have a new lease on life. Here's a familiar that she may use to work with you. This is the crow, mystery and magic. It's interesting because the crow I would usually associate with the Morrigan, which is a Gaelic or a Celtic deity of war and battle and strength. And I feel like she may be working in tandem with the Morrigan. Maybe you already work with the Morrigan. Or maybe the Morrigan is a transfiguration of Aphrodite, another aspect of her that she wants to link to her own self. But there's something about the mystery and the magic, and also being able to almost, she's showing me time travel into that which no longer exists in the currentness of your being, in the present of your life, in order to understand its purpose, understand its role, and be able to move forward. So there's something about, it's interesting because Venus is the opposite of Mars, or it's the counterpart of the planet Mars. And Mars is war and battle and struggle and strife. And so it's interesting that Aphrodite keeps bringing that through so much with that competition energy, even with like the Emperor energy. Whoops, I spit on the card. But there's like that energy of the crow coming through as that anchor point in the physical of having support to be able to move out of the battle or move into a place where the battle is purified. This is like moving from, she's showing me like someone signing a peace treaty. So there's something in your life where you're moving from struggle to a time of peace and reflection and understanding what the struggle was all about. Okay, here's another potential aspect of this divine energy and how you can work with it. And we have Vajravarahi's creation fusion mandala. Bliss swirls of delight. Focus on beauty, manifest harmony. I love that message for Aphrodite coming from this beautiful goddess today, because bliss swirls of delight. She's wanting you to feel more pleasure, to physically give to yourself in a way that's going to help you feel loved, taken care of, safe, connected, and present in your body as well. Being able to pay attention to what makes you feel good and come from the heart space the same way that Leo energy is. Really soak up the bliss and the joy of being around others that really celebrate you, that love you, that help you to address this sorrow, that help you to reconcile with your roots, and help you to give from this place of overflow and connect to your own mystery and your magic so that you can rebirth. Focus on beauty, manifest harmony. And it's interesting, if you were drawn to path 1, there was some message from Vajravarahi there as well, but it was quite a different energy in that pile, or in that path. So only if you're drawn, go there. But anyway, your 2 affirmations here to close out your reading from Aphrodite is, I am graceful amongst success. I am graceful amongst success. And secondly, I am a champion of love. I don't give power to fear. I am a champion of love. I don't give power to fear. Release the fear, release those projections, release the things that others want you to believe in order to keep you manipulative, or not manipulative, but easy to be manipulated. And maybe for some of you, it is like keeping you in a vibration of having to be manipulative to others because there isn't like that ability to be truthful. And when we're able to be truthful, that's usually because we're coming from a place of deep and genuine eternal love, the way that her card originally said. Being graceful amongst success, I like how I was calling her graceful earlier, because she's wanting to remind you that you have this grace within you, and you also have the ability to determine what success means to you, and to sit down and really recognize through your honest and genuine reflection of yourself how you have been successful and what that success means to you. We can always alter our definition of success to fit our circumstances, and to be able to be grateful for each and every accomplishment we make within our lives. And it's important right now for you to release anything that keeps you from being in this energy of love, and release anything that keeps you stuck in fear or focusing on anything that is not beautiful, anything that doesn't feel like it's serving your enjoyment of life. So this was a super powerful and clear message today. I'm so grateful that you are here to do this work for yourself. I am sending so much love to you, so much gratitude to every other force in the universe that brought us together for this reading. If you are interested in a personal reading, I have that information in the description below at my website if you would like to book a reading with me. Otherwise, I will see you in another video, my friend. Sending so much love your way. Bye. Greetings, path 3. If you selected this 3rd pathway or card, this is your reading of what deity is reaching out to you. So I'm just going to start by cleansing the space with a little bit of this mountain water from my beautiful friend. Thank you. And we are going to get right into this session. So with the other groups, I used this to cleanse, but I wasn't really focused on the scent. But there's something about that citrus smell from within this spray that is really standing out to me right now. So maybe working with citrus will help you to connect with the energy of this deity, whoever comes forward. I am feeling, of course, with the sunstone, there is an energy of like ancient sun worship and things having to do with vitality, with life force energy, but also there's something about like ancestry, DNA, like the flesh, So, let's see who came forward. Asclepius, sacred medicine. Okay. And it's interesting, I almost said I'm seeing a garden, but then I didn't. So, okay. He is in a garden, and I actually don't know too much about Asclepius, so I kind of want to bring through the writing from the deck. Asclepius. Lots of A's. Okay. Support for your health is coming. Be a medical innovator. Wow. Okay. So what was I saying about the flesh, the life force? So if you have been dealing with something that's like affecting you physically, this is definitely a beautiful synchronicity that you are being guided and supported in the divine realms, and maybe working with Asclepius is going to be important. Also, the snake on the staff is a really important symbol, not only of health but also of wealth and value. So if you're facing issues related to finances when it comes to paying medical bills or getting the access to care that you need, I feel like there's going to be some kind of miracle on its way. And I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but my wind chimes just got blown. So I definitely feel like there is some kind of support. Also, I'm curious to see what familiar might come out, but I am seeing the energy of rabbits for you as well. Path 3. So, Asclepius was the greatest healer in the ancient world. That is so crazy, actually. While I was preparing this group before I, started filming, when I was pulling a card from this deck, on the bottom of the deck, I happened to glance, and it was the card of a healer. So for some of you, this has to do with you've been doing a certain type of healing for yourself, and this is translating into healing that is being poured out from you, helping you to guide and assist energy where it needs to go. And for some of you, I'm also seeing that this is really connected to Reiki. And back to that message about the citrus. Definitely use citrus because it can heighten just your health and your vitality overall, whether it be upping your vitamin C levels, keeping certain bacteria at bay, because citrus is really good for, cleansing bacteria. And also for some of you, I'm seeing rosemary as being very important, like burning rosemary if somebody's been sick around you. It's really important right now for you to be getting into a better place with your health. And this also relates to the plants that you are consuming. If you haven't been consuming plants, either in forms of herbs that you season your food with, or like literally you haven't eaten a vegetable in a week or two, it's really time for you to be investing in your health. And for some of you, this might translate into getting into like plant-based eating, or sourcing your food from places that are like local farms, or things where the energy of the food itself is medicinal and pure. And if you're eating animals or animal products, it's like the energy of the food isn't tainted because the animals aren't being abused, something like that. So sorry, he's kind of wanting me to stand on my soapbox here. He has a lot to say to you guys about being a healer, because being a healer is more than just saying that you're a healer. And I know it's not. I don't think anyone in this path is doing that. But he's wanting me to talk about healing on multiple levels. Sorry. Okay. As a baby, he glowed with a halo of golden light. By the age of 6, Asclepius could name every medicinal plant and understood basic anatomy. Mentored by Chiron the centaur, who is the shaman of the stars, he matured into a consummate physician, surgeon, and pioneer of scientific medicine. His vast sanctuary at Epidaurus comprised a sports stadium, theater, baths, a dream temple, and a hospital. Asclepius believed that the injured and infirm needed medical treatments in combination with exercise, music, dance, and story. So this is combining spiritual healing, emotional healing with physical healing. His priests would record patients' dreams and use the information to prescribe a cure. The serpent entwined rod of Asclepius is a symbol for numerous medical institutions today. So some of you may actually be going into the medical field or looking into bringing health and well-being to either those around you or kind of like the population on like a larger scale. And this is an affirmation that Asclepius may help you with the very practical aspects of that matter. I also like that he's holding an olive branch, so there's something about peace that is brought to a society when the ailments of the sick are being tended to and cared for through somebody who is dedicated to multiple layers of healing and not just one aspect. So for others of you, with that financial message that he was giving about, being able to afford certain treatments and things like that, I feel like there is money that is available to you. It's just time to maybe look to other resources for it, like applying for grants or doing something that maybe if you're not being able to afford something, maybe you can open the door for others by applying for a grant or something that's like you can seek out someone who wants to provide this to others. So yeah, I'm just seeing it like a grant or a scholarship. Like if you start something, okay, they're drawing me to something. So when my sister was a lot younger, she had like a heart issue that was kind of underlying, easy to overlook. And she went to like a heart screening thing with my family, and she like definitely didn't want to go and get screened because she was going into middle school. It wasn't cool to go and like check out your health, but my mom like forced her to do it, and she ended up having to go in and have heart surgery after and fix the issue that was going on. But they wouldn't have caught it if she hadn't gone to this heart screening thing. And the heart screening like corporation or company started, I don't even want to call it a corporation because it's not that, it's like a foundation. They started it because their son had passed from an unexpected ailment, an unexpected heart malfunction, and it could have been easily prevented if he had been screened for condition. And so it may be that like you think that there is some kind of deficiency in your life, but if you were to start something or engage with some kind of foundation like that provides support to people who need it, there may be some kind of resource that you are not yet aware of, or you can start and then provide to others, and by doing that you will naturally benefit from the proximity of that. I hope that makes sense. So thank you, Asclepius. Let's go in deeper into this message. I spent so much time on that, but he's a scholar, so I can see why he took that time. This is the soul story that you are currently going through. Ten of Fire, Page of Fire, and the Eight of Water. Ten of Fire says observation, big picture, and discovery. Page of Fire says Pyxis, journey, navigation, and route. And Eight of Water is Equilus, hiding from judgment and insecurity. So when I close my mind and ask for a vision of what's going on, I'm seeing that downward triangle, and it's in relation to this. So there's something about getting in touch with these physical processes of care, how to see on the ground changes within your life, how to make on the ground changes. Equilus, hiding from judgment and insecurity. And you have the Sunstone. He's showing me that there's something about being honest that that needs to happen right now. Like being honest about how you feel, being honest about how far something has progressed. So maybe this is someone that you know that has a health issue that's really concerning you, and your intuition is telling you that it's time to address this. If it's not, it may be that you are hiding from a certain symptom that you're having, or there's an insecurity about how people might perceive it if you start trying to heal yourself in a certain way. Because there's something about seeking out answers. The Page of Fire talks about being a novice. I believe, maybe actually no, a novice is somebody who's a little bit more skilled, I don't know why I always think that the word novice means a beginner. Maybe it does. Somebody tell me in the comments. But yeah, it's like you're seeking out some new information that relates to your beliefs, that helps you open up a new chapter in your life. And the Ten of Fire talks about a burden that you've been carrying, and I feel like it relates to your beliefs around your body, around who you are, around what is possible within this lifetime. Observation, big picture, and discovery, though, is showing that there's an expansion in the realm of passion, in the realm of creativity and belief that is opening up for you. I keep being drawn to this palm in the background. Yeah, but there's something you've been searching out, and Spirit is wanting you to not hide from the answer. Especially Asclepius coming through. If you want to work with him, he's going to help you to not hide from judgment. So for some of you, this is even hiding from like a diagnosis. Like, if you went in, for example, with that screening thing, if you went in and got screened for something, there may be something that somebody would find, and you're afraid of what somebody might think of you for that. And a plant that I keep helping just fell over. So yeah, it's like something has to kind of fall and break down. And I think Asclepius wants you to be able to face things honestly without self-judgment as well. And with knowing that there is a mystery to be found within this box. When it'll be brought up from the depths, because this mermaid is coming up from the depths. So let's see. This is a familiar, an animal, that Asclepius would like to potentially represent himself as, or have you work with this animal spirit. And this is the wolf, family and loyalty. So if this is about someone else, this is about who you're loyal to, how you can give someone compassion, how you can be there for them. But also, wolves are really good at teaching us about boundaries. So for some of you, this is like a health related experience that has to do with you setting certain boundaries of certain behaviors, certain things that you may be consuming. It's going to depend for everyone, but yeah, definitely boundaries, and also listening to your gut instincts and what you want to be around and what you want to be surrounded by. This is how Asclepius is seeing you right now, path 3. And we have Spark of Divine, 27, which adds up to a 10. So 10s might be really important for Asclepius, and you recognizing his influence or where he's guiding you. It says, I reignite the divine spark within me and recognize I am a part of all creation. So I feel like for a lot of you, there's a depression that's been over your life in some ways, and Asclepius is wanting you to get out of the depressed state and to remedy it through seeking out knowledge and through being able to excite yourself about the potential new beginnings in your life and the ways that you can be solution oriented, and that things like miracles can happen. Being a spark of the divine is representing that you're loved, that you are a part of something greater than yourself. This is also what's being talked about with big picture and discovery, telescopium and reticulum. This is about our ability to see into the cosmos, to see into all of creation, and to gain a broader perspective on our life. And seeing that, we are connected to something much greater than ourselves often. And we don't always recognize that what we do has ripple effects. So for some of you, this is talking about behavior changes or habit changes that are going to, have a ripple through your lineage. Maybe your kids, or your future children, if you're a lot younger, maybe they are going to follow in your footsteps when they see the way that you live your life. Or maybe this is, if you're not planning on having kids, maybe this is older people in your family being able to make certain changes when they see you doing these certain lifestyle differences, or even friends and family. Okay, this is a shadow that Asclepius wants to work with you on, and this is hearth. You were born to be the head and not the tail. So yes, this is about making new decisions and not just following in other people's footsteps. Being able to be really clear on what you believe and what you think about your experiences and the symptoms that you're facing and what you're feeling. Being able to make the decision. You were born to be the head, the consciousness, and not the tail, not the thing that is being controlled by somebody else who's doing the thinking for you. Hearth is also talking about the body, and again, this is just affirming what I was just talking about with the pregnancy, or with the kids, with the offspring. Being able to see that there is a turning point, a critical point that's happening right now in terms of your journey and your route, where what map you're following within your life and how it relates to your physical experience. Because the hearth talks about our bodies and their abilities to reproduce, to disseminate information. Same thing as fire. Fire spreads. Water also is nourishing and giving. 8 talks about what we give and how we exchange that. What we give, what we receive what we give. And so this is about purifying your karma as it relates to your physical body. And your vitality, sacred medicine, being able to know what's nourishing to you. This is how Asclepius wants to work with you. We have the butterfly, beauty. Asclepius wants to help you transform, to be in yourself, to come into the fullness of what your spirit wants to experience in this lifetime. Medicine will take us there. For some of you, this is talking about doing some kind of shamanic healing or going to a healer that can help to activate this ability that you have for self-healing. Because sometimes, even if we are a healer, we need other healers to activate the experience of healing within our lives, to give us that initiation into being rising into that status of being a healer. And for some of you, this is going to school that's going to help you to be initiated into this knowledge and into this ability to send off, like the butterfly again. There's definitely something that you're doing that's going to ripple out and have effects in ways that you can't see, because the butterfly is reminding me of the butterfly effect. And 2 + 5 is like aligning with oneself creates change that spreads out and creates a spiritual ascension or a spiritual enlightenment. And it's kind of funny, there's like this ant that is like totally struggling over here. Oh, I hope it's okay. It just like passed on, so I don't even know how. I just brushed it off very gently. But yeah, there's something about allowing things to transform. So for some of you, this is also being called into death care, or things that have to do with when the body is kind of past a certain point, being able to remedy these experiences of spirit, these experiences of the soul that need that support. So it just depends, but seeing how those two are intertwined. This is a potential Buddhist deity or another aspect, another transfiguration of Asclepius that may come forward for you. And this is 37, Chakra Samvara. Union of wisdom and compassion. Love-making can bring wisdom and compassion or mire us in lust. Asclepius is wanting to bring forward your desire for something to manifest. When we engage in the act of love, we must be open to receive, and that experience of exchange. So there's something here about again, another 10, because 3 + 7 is 10. Letting things transition, letting things turn over into something new, to be made new. There's a lot of having to let things shift, letting things turn into something different than what we thought that they might have been, and working with those and accepting things as they change, letting things die, letting things move into a new state or a new form. Yeah, definitely sit with wolf spirit, even the horse spirit as well, or the butterfly. I kind of want to read Chakra Samvara really fast for you. I know I'm kind of like wanting to finish up this reading, but I just want to see. Yeah. Okay. Talking about the severed head represents humanity and shows that despite great accomplishments, I don't know where the severed head is in here. Maybe you can find it. I think it's these, actually, the necklace of severed heads. Represents humanity and shows that despite great accomplishments, the Buddha remains humble and human. He stands in warrior pose as spiritual work is demanding. It takes intensity and the strength of heart of a warrior to persevere through every stage and mundane trial of life. No one escapes, not even an accomplished master. We all face the same struggles. In Buddhist art, the pose of lovemaking is considered so much more than sexual. It is called the father-mother union, or yab-yum, kind of like a yin-yang symbol. There are other examples of yab-yum couples in the Buddhist pantheon, but this example is a representation of Chakra Samvara practice. The feminine represents wisdom, the masculine compassion. It is refreshing to see the act of love portrayed simply and proudly without hiding behind fig leaves or gauzy curtains. Buddhism fully embraces our humanity and acknowledges that the body is along for the ride. It is a joyful part of work towards enlightenment, and I feel like this is so connected to this hiding from judgment and insecurity. It's time for you to embrace that there are certain things that you've been feeling, experiencing, and also if this relates to the health of relationships, that it's time for you to be able to connect on a deeper level with others around you through healthy practices and healthier dynamics that you're forming. These final affirmations from the deity Asclepius for you today are: I am an important part of my social network. Definitely connecting with community, organizing something where others can benefit, or you're engaging in some type of thing where you are reaching out for support, reaching out for help, acknowledging that there is support and help available to you. Definitely is a big part of this. And Asclepius will bring those to you that you need if you ask, is what he's saying to me right now. I move on with ease and comfortable flow. I move on with ease and comfortable flow. It's time for things to be, washed away, to allow yourself to move forward as you make these changes in your life and as you commit to them as well. And Asclepius will be able to help you with his sacred medicine. So that is all I am seeing for you, Path 3. Thank you so very much for being here and committing to your journey and to your spiritual work today. I want to thank every other force in the universe for being present for this reading, for supporting, guiding, protecting, and compassionately watching over this energy. If you are interested in a personal reading, I have my information in the description box below at my website. You can book through there. Otherwise, I will see you in another video, my friend. Sending you so much love. Bye. Greetings, Path 4. If you selected this final group, or the Septarian, this is your deity reading. I don't know exactly what to call it, but first I'm going to channel something from the Septarian. So Septarian is about bringing us shocking change, but also being able to ground us into ancient wisdom. So there's something here about this deity where they want you to really get in touch with your power and your strength, and I'm talking about true power. So this is power that cannot be taken from you. This is power that comes from your ancestors, that comes from true strength and even silence, for a lot of you. So this is about like practiced wisdom and lineages of wisdom, and for a lot of you, I'm feeling like there's something here that's very formal about your practice, or you take it very seriously, and this deity wants to come through with respect for who you are as a practitioner, and wants to really support you in the ways that you can alchemize energy and transform and spiritually serve. So let's see what deity comes forward. We got Ra, share your gift. And it's funny because I was going to say that I was feeling very like Pele energy. Like there's something about this this group. I almost didn't do four pathways, but Spirit really was just calling me into this fourth one, and I'm really glad I'm doing it now, because this energy from Ra that's coming through is talking about spiritual alchemy. And it's funny because Ra represents the sun in Egyptian or Cometian mythology, and the sun is the initiator of all alchemical processes. All life comes from the sun, and the sun can give life and take life away. It depends on, how we are relating to holding space to receive the sun's energy and direct the sun's energy as well. So there's something about using energy. I'm thinking about like solar power right now, so I don't know if that relates to anything that you've been going through, but there's something about being able to harness power and then direct power into a different state or a different way of being that is conducive to sharing your gifts. And a lot of you in this group, actually I would say everyone who is on this pathway, has a very strong spiritual gift and a spiritual presence that allows them to connect with nature and to use life force energy for the greater good of all. And a lot of you, I'm also feeling, have a gift for interpretation, so you're able to see signs and omens. You may also be fellow diviners, and so there's something about being able to deliver messages or deliver some kind of healing through your use of spiritual gifts. And also birds are really important for this pathway, if that resonates for you, because I'm just seeing off in the distance there's like a hawk that's circling and catching my attention, and Ra here is wearing this, I believe this would be like an eagle or a hawk, I can't really tell, some type of falcon like energy. So this is your soul story at the moment, and we have 5 of water, Cetus, underlying emotional issues, self-doubt, and fear. And I actually feel like I need to get a, whoa, that was way too much, hold on, clarifying card. Please, Ra, sun god, give us one clarifying message. I saw Mars on there, so okay. Judgment, Earth, Capricornus, prioritization, analysis, and practicality. Okay, a lot of you have been fighting spiritual battles. It's like people, even on the bottom, look, chameleon, adaptability, adjustment, camouflage, Knight of Fire. Spiritual battles. So I don't know if you've been feeling like there has been some type of energy just sent your way that is like disruptive, or I don't know, I don't want to encroach on your beliefs about spiritual, like psychic attacks and things like that, but for me personally, I do believe that people can send malintentioned energy your way if you are not aware of like protecting yourself, or also you can just absorb energies of people when they're giving teachings that are not necessarily resonant with your soul. And so it's really important that at this time you recognize the importance of protecting, grounding, cleansing, and connecting with your spirit guides of compassion, of wisdom, truth, and alignment. That's what I always say. That's my little phrase. But Cetus is talking about underlying emotional issues, self-doubt, and fear may be what is being implanted through these psychic attacks. So I'm going to give an example. Maybe this is a little bit too vulnerable, but I don't care. Ra is telling me I need to just shine my light right now. So when I would film my YouTube videos, I've been doing this for about 5 years now. And when I first started, I remember, up until even like a year ago, I would film a video and then I would sit and feel so full of doubt. Like, did I just channel? Am I doing something that's going to be supportive, that's going to help people? And I started to get in-person feedback. It's like Spirit knew that I had been struggling with this. And of course, first I got feedback from people online that would leave kind of nasty comments or things that were kind of reflecting to me that wavering in my self-confidence, that wavering in my connection to Spirit, because I knew intuitively that what I was doing was really important and really powerful. And just because I wasn't getting that response, I'm sure if you're here, you see my channel's not like crazy big or anything. But I felt that kind of doubt. And so I feel like for some of you, you're facing that aspect of your spiritual journey where you're questioning what you're doing, how you're doing it, because we don't get the affirmation or the confirmation always the same way that we might if, for example, we're teaching science to somebody. Like, there's observable, clear, statistics and methods that you follow that produce certain results. But with spirituality and your spiritual gifts, it's not always the same way. And so I feel like for a lot of you, this 5 of water is talking about a great power and a great strength that is also causing you to be a target in some ways, because there are forces, in my beliefs, you don't have to take this on if this is not your belief, but in my belief, there are forces that benefit from us keeping our power small and not shining our light of truth and doubting ourselves and not invoking that power to its fullest extent. And so it's really important that you protect your energy at this time and keep yourself strong and radiant, and know that nothing can touch you, no matter how much of a display of power it tries to show you. It's really important to anchor into those sources of power. And for me, I personally draw on a lot of strength from the spirits and the guides that I work with and the deities that I work with. And I feel like for you, Ra is appearing here to show you that there is a beautiful, loving, powerful energy from the sun that you can draw from to pull out and to illuminate and to actually deepen your connection to the darkness, so that it does not have power over you. Because with Capricorn season, when the sun is in Capricorn, it is the darkest time of the year. It's the shortest days. And so there's something here about when it says prioritization, analysis, and practicality. This is about being very practical about your spiritual practices and about your gifts, and knowing that these things do have practical manifestations. And so it's important for us to use our spirituality to harmonize with our practical life. So for an example that Ra is giving me at this moment is like doing spells or doing prayers or ritual work, whatever you believe in, whatever your devout practice is, because I did feel that for this pathway, using those practices in a very literal and a very practical manner, a very applied manner. So for example, this might be, if you're feeling like there's some kind of energies lingering around your home, doing a protection, a cleansing, a home blessing, something like that. That's just one example that I hope conveys what Ra is talking about. So let's look at the shadow that Ra wants to work with you on. And we got Ashe. The world was created by one. Yes. This is talking about not having a disbelief in self. This reading is all about coming into union with your higher self, with your divinity that resides within. The sun, or Ra, represents the empowered individual self, our ego, potentially, but it also represents who we are truly at our core. And the ego, when it's cleansed, when it's purified, when it's operating in a healthy and functional manner, it's operating from a place of core wisdom, from connection to true self. And I feel like this reading, Ra really wants to come through to show you that you can shine that light, that you can be that pure and authentic self without the self-doubt, without the fear, by knowing that the world was created by one, that whatever you say will come to manifest, will come to pass. And this is about getting in touch with your gift, with the power, with the having reverence for this gift of prophecy. And I'm thinking about a Rumi quote, which says, he says something like, the prophet, the ink has dried. And I talked about this in another video recently, so maybe you selected that path or that group. But this is talking about your gift of being able to create. You are a creator, just like the sun. You are a seed, a divine seed of that original source that can create. So let's go a little deeper. This is how Ra views you right now. Archangel Raphael and meditation 9 and 2. It says, I invite Archangel Raphael to bring healing and knowledge into my life. I feel like rather than viewing you this way, Ra is wanting to send you this angel of heart healing, because Archangel Raphael heals our heart space. Archangel Raphael also brings in loving, compassionate, and wise connections and spiritually based healings through relationships in our lives. And this can be relationships not just with people, but also with plants and animals and other dimensional beings. So Archangel Raphael is really wanting to be open, or have your energy be opened to the cleansing and the blessing that they can bring in. Archangel Raphael really wants to bring you this healing and knowledge of the source of life, knowledge of never being alone, knowledge of your power and your sovereignty. 2, meditation. Ra is seeing you as somebody who is meditative, who's mindful, who's connected to themselves, to their higher wisdom, and also to a certain influence within the human collective at this time. I also feel like you have not just influence in the physical, because for some of you I feel like you're quite hermited at times. So it's that you have an influence over the aspects, like I'm seeing a lot of you doing earth gridding or work that is on a non-verbal level, and that's maybe why I referenced earlier the thing about silence and the power of silence. It says, I meditate daily to allow universal wisdom to flow through me. It's time for you to take those moments of reflection, those moments of peace, of stillness, to go within and to surrender. And Ra is seeing you as someone who is quiet, receptive, and that's really beautiful. This is how Ra wants to work with you. The serpent in partnership. Knowledge and healing. So more about, oh my gosh, healing and knowledge and healing. Wow. 2 + 3 is 5. This is about change. This is about, look at, there's even a snake wrapped around the red sun up here. Wow. And this stone is serpentine. Okay. And you have Cetus, which is a sea serpent. And the tail of the Capricorn, which looks like a sea serpent. Okay. Path 4. Ra wants to bring you knowledge and healing. Knowledge and light are interchangeable, in my opinion. Knowing, experiencing, understanding, integration, these are all other words that talk about alchemy, that talk about bringing something within us. And actually, it's kind of weird. I realized that 3 out of the 4 paths today have serpents, so you may have been drawn to more than one. But there's something here about being able to ground into the earth for this knowledge, for this non-dual representation of spiritual practice that is wanting to be brought into your life, so that you can become more balanced, so that you can become a judge for the divine, and not in the way of judging from our ego, but becoming eyes for the divine, so that the divine may
be able to bring judgment, be able to bring justice to the world through your perspective and through your actions and through your sight. The serpent is, if we think of it in the Garden of Eden story, there's that temptation aspect. But I also feel like there are other legends surrounding the serpent, where the serpent is a protector, an acknowledgement of ancient wisdom, of balance within the animal kingdom. Serpents eat eggs, and they're highly connected to that symbolism. And eggs represent like the seed of life, the seed of creation. And so there's something here about being able to heal through taking on poison, taking on the toxins, and being able to balance these necessary evils, because they're showing me like the hawk has to be a predator, the serpent is a predator. There's something about being in a position of power, which is balancing, that could potentially cause a lot of destruction, but it also keeps us in harmony and in balance with what is good for the earth. This is powerful energy, because even the Capricornus talks about us coming into the full heightened expression of our higher self, reaching the peak, reaching the elevation. So for some of you, this also is going to be heightened when you go and find actual elevation, going to the mountains, elevating yourself. That can even be through breath work, through plant medicine journeying, things like that, things that are going to get you lifted, elevated, heightened. The serpent, though, stays low to the ground and remains connected to the earth. So as much as you travel up, it's important to remember that you're doing this with the intention of reaching down below and staying connected and grounded through partnership. Because even as Archangel Raphael comes out as a messenger and a connection to Ra, to this energy, partnership is through the heart, which Archangel Raphael wants to come in and bring knowledge and healing from this heart-based place of healing. Partnership is showing that you are partnered with the divine. The divine is co-creating with you. And also I love that this is 23 and this is 32, so 5. So there's a lot of change. This is about a deepened awakening within your spiritual gifts, acknowledging the power that you can draw from the divine realms, and being in partnership with your path, with your journey, going through the gateway. I like that partnership here is a little passage through this wall. So there's something on the other side of the wall, on this other side of the veil, that's giving you this this infinite, there's infinity on both of these cards, so this infinite connection, this infinite knowledge, this infinite awareness. And I feel like for you, this is a really like esoteric awakening, something that you can only experience through presence. That's why the silence is so important. So these are some deities that are connected to Ra that may awaken this energy. If you're not necessarily feeling connected to Ra themselves, maybe you're not into Egyptian mythology, or if you are, this is just enhancing this. So we have Princess Mandrava, first wife to Padmasambhava. Sometimes love changes the course of a life. So more about partnership. Maybe there's certain people in your life that you're meant to be partnered with in spirit, that you're meant to do work with, or maybe certain deities. Like I keep putting my hand here to Archangel Raphael, someone who's going to really support you and connect with you. Maybe there's certain spirit guides. But I feel like for majority of you, these are talking about actual literal partnership. And I'm seeing the conch. No, sorry. What's it called? Why am I blanking on this? The cowrie shells on the head. So maybe working with the cowrie shell for spiritual enlightenment might be important to you. Sometimes love changes the course of a life. Princess Mandrava leaves a rather esteemed scholarly position in order to go and experience ecstatic bliss of being in a spiritual path or spiritual calling. So for some of you, this is partnering with the divine to be taken somewhere in your career. Over here we have Durga, the warrior goddess, dispeller of the darkness. And you know what's interesting? Ra's daughter is Sekhmet, who always reminds me of Durga. I feel like they're a transfiguration of each other. And there's the conch shell. So I know that the conch shell is important. Shells in general might be important to you. But Durga, the warrior goddess, dispeller of darkness, she becomes a warrior to dispel the darkness. And Sekhmet also does that. She takes on this poison of a society and she becomes intoxicated with it. That's that elevation, that heightening. And it spins her into a frenzy, into a fanaticism in a way. And then Ra has to subdue her, to quell her desire through this very powerful, shocking experience. And then she becomes a healer, and she becomes someone who the society can rely on to stand up to these injustices. And Durga is created out of a necessity to conquer a demon that is plaguing an entire society. She is the manifestation of the most powerful deity within the Hindu or the Buddhist pantheon. And so it's really it's like you're going to move out of traditional knowledge systems and into an esoteric knowledge system in the coming days, and you're going to use that warrior energy to dispel the darkness, to shine your light like Ra wants you to do, and share your gifts. And she shows that she's very powerfully expanded in her healing abilities because she has all of these different tools at her disposal, and they honestly look like they're from all different elements. So this is like a really powerful mastery energy. For some of you, you're Reiki masters, you're tantric masters, you're doing something that is putting you into an elevated position where you're going to be able to teach and to guide and to express this. Here's a familiar that Ra wants to bring forward, and we have a squirrel, which it says responsibility and balance. So there's something about hiding things away, being private about certain practices that Ra wants you to really keep to yourself, using the darkness to your advantage, keeping things hidden when they need to be hidden, but also using your responsibility and balance to keep that balance. So when you're giving, you're keeping just as much to yourself or giving just as much back to yourself. And the squirrel also talks about joyfulness and play and not being so serious as well. So that's part of what this esoteric wisdom is going to be, is that there's a balance within the responsibility that you're given. So this is a Bible quote that I like a lot. It's from Luke somewhere. I'll maybe have it linked in the description if I remember, or written in the description for your path. But to whom much is given, much is required. And I feel like this is what Ra is saying. Even though you're in this elevated position, even though you are going through these initiations and realizing more spiritually, there's a responsibility as well to maintain a sense of joy and a sense of playfulness and a sense of wonderment and enchantment about your life. So these final messages here are representing the affirmations that Ra wants to bring through for you to work with. So there is, I am expanding through vulnerability. Yes, definitely like this Durga energy, expanding through vulnerability, expanding through being in that warrior energy, through addressing and facing those woundings within their heart and being able to find the medicine within that. You expand your consciousness through your receptivity, through your commitment to healing. And here it says, I cherish and cultivate healthy relationships. So more about partnership. It's really important for you to have those people that you can be supported by, that you can lean on, and that you can also offer support and care. There's something that is fulfilled in us when we give as well as when we receive. So balancing that is going to be really important. And I feel like squirrels, I always see them running together. They're always playing with each other. So there's definitely some people in your life that Ra is saying it's really important for you to be sharing in these spiritual experiences with. And that may even be your animal, your plant friends. So that is all I am seeing for you, Path 4. Thank you so very much for committing to this work for yourself, for letting me channel for you. I want to thank every other force in the universe that has come forward to assist in this reading. I want to thank you for being here and dedicating yourself to your spiritual work. I think I might have already said that. Sorry, you're my last group. I'm a little tired, but if you are interested in a personal reading, please do not hesitate to book with me through my website linked in the description below. But I will see you in another video, my friend. Sending you so much love.